Good morning, happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, April 13th, and I am your morning witch. It's a late morning, and I have just been going through the gambit this week on that. I'm gonna say the residual eclipse energy. It was a pretty powerful day, and the next day immediately I was anyway. It got me thinking about offerings and offerings to my deities, and just really like I'm not sure the way I want to say that. But regardless, I apologize if this was a repeat, but I decided, I don't think we've really talked about offerings. Specifically, we've talked about specific offerings, but we haven't talked about offerings as a broad. And what made me think about this is I decided I was going to clean the area around my altar. I haven't cleaned the altar yet, but as an offering, as a token from myself to the deities that I invite inhabit this space, cleaning around it was an offering from myself to them. Just like when I take the time to fully clean the altar, all the things on it and the shelf itself, and then cleanse them not only with physical elements but spiritual ones as well. That will be an offering. Not only the things that go back on the altar are offerings, but the cleaning themselves, the cleaning itself, is an offering. Just like yesterday, instead of recording a morning witch video, I cleaned that area as an offering to the deities that I invite to openly inhabit this space if they so choose. Because think of offerings like love language, because truly that's what they are. It doesn't have to be an item that's brought in from outside and put on an altar. It doesn't have to be a specific spice of the season or a specific drink for your ancestors. Just like in love language, there's gift giving, but there's acts of service, and there are words of acknowledgement and words of validation. So too in this love language that is not just for romantic relationships, but for all human relationships. And as a human reaching out to my deities, what am I doing? I am a human enacting a human relationship with my deities or with the universe as a whole. But also, I am the universe, and I am connecting with the greater part of me. And all of these things fall into love language. It's all loving things when we reach out with these relationships. Okay, let me rephrase. Love language is involved because of the way that we as humans communicate, maybe not coming from a loving place in general, but it would fall into the category of utilizing love language from the aspect of the human relationship with anything else, another human, another spiritual entity. So taking the time to clean your altar can be an offering. It doesn't have to be, but it can be an offering. Just like speaking to the deities at your altar or elsewhere can be an offering if you put that intention into it, because we are all different beings, and the universe is multifaceted and has a multifaceted way of receiving that which we put out. So I thought it was an important, as I cleaned my altar, or cleaned around my altar yesterday and made plans for actually cleaning the altar itself, I thought this was an important conversation to have for anyone who hasn't had the thought and thought you could only just leave things on an altar, or you had to build an altar, because you don't even have to build an altar. But, the magic is not inside the box. We're not inside a box unless we willingly climb into it and close the lid. Happy Saturday.